What's up, EZ? Can you hear me all right? Hopefully you can hear me. Oh God. Okay, yeah. And can you see everything all right? Let me make an announcement in Discord. What's the what's the link to this? Oh, there probably is delay. I never know how to get rid of delay, to be honest. That might just have to be there. All right. Oh God, it's Morgan, my arch nemesis. All right, just sent the announcement in Discord. Oh no, we have Morgan back at it again. Uh-oh. We're gonna be in for a ride. It's so nice getting to be the one speaking though and have Morgan not be able to talk. He's so much worse than me, it's crazy. I miss you, Morgan, you damn traitor. True. This is a Morgan hate stream. We love Morgan. Willie Blue says, "What? This is the hottest flow developer." You're damn right about that one. It's so funny for people that like don't know who I am that like just think that's like a. Actually, I'm not even gonna say that. True, that's a genuine comment. Let me just wait. I gotta hold on. I gotta move my Slack over to here first. Okay. All right. Cool. Let me turn. No. Okay. Um, I'm going. I'm going to auditing every single word you say. And Morgan is banned. Okay, I just banned him from the live stream. Cool. All right, so now that Morgan's banned, no, I'm just kidding. All right, so we have like I'll just wait like 4 more minutes or so until to get started. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, we had more reactions to the Flow FastCamp than we did to either of the other two, and I think that's because of me. Not to toot my own horn here, but I think I'm a popular legend around these parts, and people were like, "Oh, Jacob's doing the workshop. I gotta tune into that one," and you would be correct if you thought that. So let me make sure I'm set up really quick. I don't want to. Okay, fine. Yeah. All right. I'm now seeing we have 4 viewers. Welcome, you 4 viewers. Let's wait 3.5 minutes. All right, we can do that just for you. Let me set a timer really quick. All right, Morgan. A timer has been set for 3 minutes. Wait, a timer has been set for 3.5 seconds. We are on the clock here. There you go, Morgan. What's up, sweet? Good to see you. And we got Huikwu in the chat. What's up? Hey, everybody. Listen, it's 4 a.m. my time. I will just drop by and watch the recording instead. That is totally fine. Thanks so much for saying hi. And yeah, tune into the recording. Sounds great. Morgan says, "Listen, you dragged me out of my cave to listen to your stream. The star power is real." That's what I'm saying. You know, I am a bit of a superhero around here. You better believe it. So sweet, how you doing? It's 1 a.m. here. Wow. So we got people tuning in the middle of the night for this flow workshop. That's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of dedication we need on the Hyperverse. That's exactly what we're looking for. What's up, Nazir? Good to see you. Per Morgan's request, we still have 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go. Don't blame me. Morgan's the one that set the timer. Wow, this is the first time I heard Jacob call SWT sweet instead of SWT. Yeah. Well, sweet's easier to say, and also, I feel like sweet likes being called sweet more, right? Or no? What's better? We need the opinion here. All right, let's test the delay really quick, okay? And we'll start in 2 minutes. But let's test the delay. So the first person to say Jacob wins a prize. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14, 15, 17. Wow, 20 seconds and still no one said it? Oh my god, we might be on like a 30-second delay. Okay, it's a 30-second delay. Wow, that stinks. All right. Well, 30-second delay. We can work with that. That's no worries. We have, wow, this is the longest 3 minutes of my life, Morgan. What is this? All right, we got 7 viewers. What's up, everybody? Welcome into the stream. Morgan, I don't know how to decrease the delay. I don't know how to do it. I don't know. Because on my thing, I have delay at 0. So I don't know what to do about that, to be fully honest with you. Also, Yep, that's right, Nazir. The first instructor was Morgan Wild, the first Legend of Flow. Morgan's the best. You're probably saying that because of Fast Forward, right? I know Nazir has been with us since Fast Forward, where Morgan opened it up with a legendary intro. For our last 20 seconds, maybe we want to actually look at Morgan's intro. It was amazing.
Boom. All right, what's up, YouTube squad? It's Jacob here for.
Wow, we have some interesting things here. Use Discord instead. I wish I could use Discord, but unfortunately that can't happen. Up, and the timer went off. Okay, cool. So we'll get started in 1 more minute. But we have to see Morgan's intro first, or else I can't start. Where is it? Oh, that's so sad. I just had it. Oh, that's Nick's. Okay, well, we still love Nick, but I wanted to find Morgan's. Anyway. All right, so welcome everybody to the workshop. This is your introduction to the flow and the hyperverse. And so let's get going here. So what is the hyperverse? Well, why don't we visit hyperverse.dev. Sorry, it's docs.hyperverse.dev. And we're currently looking at, the hyperverse here. So if you want to, you can get a little bit of an introduction to the hyperverse here, but I'm going to be sort of talking you through what it actually is and what you can do with it and all this fun stuff, right? So, put simply, the hyperverse is a way for you, as a Web 2 developer or someone that, doesn't know anything about the blockchain or doesn't know anything about smart contracts. It's a way for you to use already deployed smart contracts on the blockchain in your applications. And so what this means is that you can utilize, blockchain technology, smart contracts, all those things without actually knowing what, how to code them or anything like that. And there's a lot more in-depth stuff we go into in the hyperverse, including auditing and smart contract development and all this kind of stuff. But we're going to leave that for a later time because this is sort of an intro to the hyperverse and building dApps and applications, using already deployed, blockchain code that you don't have to know how to write. So that's, a very quick overview of what the hyperverse is. If you want to, I really recommend checking out docs.hyperverse.dev. There's an intro here. There's a couple quick starts. Maybe a why use the hyperverse. So definitely check this out. But what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be going over like what Oh, I see we have Shane in the chat. What's up, Shane? Good to have you. So yeah, we're going to be going over like maybe what a module is, right, on the hyperverse, and how we actually use a module in our sample applications. So before we actually dive into some module code. What a module is basically, it's almost like a container of like, some concept or some, piece of functionality on the blockchain. So for example, What I'll show today is like a fungible token module, which allows you to, wire up a fungible token into your application without having to know how to make a fungible token or deploy a smart contract or anything like that. So that's one example of a module. Another one is like a non-fungible token module. So that's really cool. A tribes module where you can join and leave tribes. A random pick module, which is like a random number generator on the blockchain. So a lot of stuff you can do. And when you think about, these modules, right, you can think of them as like Lego blocks, right, where, maybe at the bottom layer you have an NFT contract, and then on top of that you build a marketplace, and then on top of that you build, a random NFT generator, and then maybe generative art, right? So they really are Lego blocks, and you can hook up these modules in whatever combination or form you want to make your dApp, amazing, just like me. So what we're going to start with today is, how to maybe get started developing on the Hyperverse, right? So I'm going to click on this right here, which takes us to Build Web3 Apps Early Access. And so if we scroll down a bit, there's some, sample, there's some stuff to help you get started with actually making a dApp. But the first thing that we're going to do is sort of scroll down here and click on Environment Setup. Now, what this is going to do is lead you through, how to actually get started on the Hyperverse. But, instead of like looking at boring documentation, I'm going to, be showing you that more directly. So I'm going to go to github.com/decentology, and I'm going to click on this repositories, tab here, and then click on Hyperverse Mono. Or more simply, you can just go to github.com/decentology/Hyperverse Mono. So you'll see that Jacob Tucker just merged a pull request. That would be me. And so there were some fun updates in here, which I'm going to be showing you today. But in order to get this on your computer, well, actually, before we even do that, what is Hyperverse Mono? Well, it's basically a bunch of packages or modules that you can use to put into your dApps. And then on top of that, we have some example applications under the apps folder. So if we click on the apps folder, these are all a bunch of sample applications that you can just get up and running, right away. If you follow this, what I'm about to show you. And, you can use these applications to figure out, well, how do we hook up Hyperverse modules? What do they mean? All that kind of stuff. But like I said, this packages folder, this has a list of all the modules that you can use. So the way they're formatted is, Hyperverse, they all begin with Hyperverse. Then the middle thing is the blockchain. So, for example, this is, a random pick module on Ethereum. This is a, NFT module on Flow. This is a token module on Flow as well. I also added a battle Nick module on Flow. This allows you to 1v1 Nick in a on-chain battle to see who wins. I just added that because I wanted to. So I just added that there. If you don't know Nick, he's the co-founder and CEO of Decentology, so that's why I thought it was funny. Anyway, moving on. So these are, all the modules you can use. So because we're, this is an intro to Flow, sort of boot camp, what you're going to be dealing most with is, this Hello World module, this NFT module, this random pick module, the token module, and the tribes module. So what I'll do is, in today's, sort of lesson or workshop, I'm going to be using Hyperverse Flow Token, which is, a fungible token module to interact with our application. And then, at the end of this workshop, I'll go over what the other ones are so that you can not only get an idea of how to use these modules in your apps, but, how to potentially make your own modules. So without further ado, I want to use Battle Nick module now. I really think you should. It's pretty funny. It's very simple, but it's very funny. So anyway, in order to get Hyperverse Mono onto your computer, let me pull over my terminal here. Let me just, go back a little bit so that I'm not cheating. But what you would do is, okay, so what you would do is you would go to this little code tab here, click on this copy button, and you would go to your terminal and type in git clone and then clone the repo just like that. Now, the only reason I'm not doing this live is because I've already done it and it takes, some time to install the dependencies. But what you would do is you would clone the module just like that. And then after you cloned it, you would cd into Hyperverse Mono just like that. And then once you cd into Hyperverse Mono, then you would just type yarn. And if you type in yarn, it'll install all the dependencies of the project, including all the modules, all the example applications, all that fun stuff, all that fun jazz. So there you go. That's what you would do to get installed. And also, if you have any trouble, You could check out, cloning the, do all this kind of stuff here, right? When building on Hyperverse, you have the option to set up your local environment or clone the Hyperverse mono. So you can use all of these to help you get started. The most helpful one would probably be this one for what I just showed you. Clone the mono, Hyperverse mono. CD into all these things, yarn, yarn dev. So this explains to you how to really get started. But I just showed you that anyway, so there's no point in going over that again. All right, so why don't we take a look at some code here? Let me open this up in VS Code and start walking you through the wonders of the Hyperverse. So like I was showing you on the GitHub page, we have apps, we have this packages folder. What you're really going to be concerned about is this apps folder, but also this packages folder because it shows you all of the modules that we have. So let's skip everything until we get to flow. And let's look at, a Hyperverse flow token module really quick. I don't want to go over this too much because the point of this workshop is really to show you how to use this module in an application. But I do want to show you what a module even is because I think it'll help you get a better understanding of some of the things that are at play here. So the one thing I will show you is this example token contract. So this is a fungible token contract that supports this like composable standard. Now, what does composable really mean? Wow, I keep yawning a lot. But what does composable mean? Well, when you think about smart contracts right now on the blockchain, and you think about like, different use cases, right? Like if I want to deploy my own fungible token, I have to develop it. Maybe I have to even pay a developer to develop it for me. Then I have to deploy it. Then I have to maintain it, all that stuff, right? I have to get it audited, all that kind of stuff. Now that's a pain. It makes sense sometimes, but it's a pain, right? Because why would I want to deploy a fungible token that's, my own, but pretty much exactly like every single other fungible token out there, just a different contract, right? It's a waste of smart contract code. It takes a long time. It also costs a lot to audit, maintain, all that kind of stuff. So why do that? Well, instead, we can support this thing called, this tenant structure or composability, where you use one contract for everyone's needs. And so you can see here that, for example, this is a long fungible token contract. You don't have to understand cadence at all. If you don't understand any of this, that is perfectly fine, and that's honestly what's expected. But, even without knowing this code, you can see that right here, we have a certain total supply for different addresses. Now, these addresses are tenants, right? So, for example, if Morgan here wants to make his own token, it'll map, Morgan's address to whatever total supply he's minted, and it'll map my address to whatever total supply I've minted. So again, you don't have to understand this code at all because it's all blockchain code, but it helps you get an understanding of what composability really means and how we can use it in our apps. So with that being said, let's actually let's close out of packages and we'll come back at the end if anyone has questions. Actually, you know what? Does anyone? Oh, I want to say, does anyone have questions? But it's going to take me 30 seconds to actually listen for that. So if you have questions, drop them in the chat. I'll stop what I'm doing and I'll answer the questions. So yeah. All right. So yeah, just drop your questions in the chat, even if I'm still talking. Don't worry about it. All right. So Morgan has a question. All right, Morgan, ask your question. But again, it might take 30 seconds to go through, so I'm just going to continue. All right. So packages are a list of modules, right? So these are a bunch of packages, modules that you can use in your apps. Now let's actually go over, and of course you could, I want to make the wild Linu, what is that? Wild INU or wild LNU token on flow. You can do that. You can totally do that. And I'm going to be showing you how to kind of do that using this upcoming app. So totally, Morgan. Love it. Wild token. So, of course, you can make your own front end and you could use these modules in your own front end. But these are already made dApps for you to show you. Sorry, I keep yawning a lot. These are already made dApps for you to show you, how you could potentially hook them up. So we're going to be using this Flow app, right? Under apps, these are all the Flow apps. And then this is, we have an NFT app, we have a Tribes app, and a Token app. Of course, we're going to be using Token app today because that's what I wanted to show you. My chair is falling apart. Okay, so let's go in and click on this Token thingy. And this is going to allow us, this is basically just a Next.js application. So let me go to my terminal here, cd into apps/flow/token. And let's just open this up because it'll make a lot more sense if we view this sort of like as an individual thingy here. So this is just a Next.js app, and while we're waiting, considering or assuming you've already yarned to the Hyperverse Mono, you just type in yarn dev. And when I type in yarn dev here, it's going to load the Next.js app. And so we'll actually hopefully see this on our webpage. I'm going to wait a second here. So let's go to localhost 3000. And boom, here is our application. So this is a sample application showing you how to, interact with, this package. And so before we actually jump into code, let me run through an example of what this looks like. God, I think something's wrong with me. Stop yawning, Jacob. Okay, so without actually going into code first, let's just go over what this is and interact with it first, so that when we do go into code, it makes a lot more sense. So let's go ahead and connect our wallet. I'm going to connect this wallet right here, confirm. And you can see that if I actually click on get balance here and get total supply, there's stuff already configured here. Now, there's a reasoning for that. Right now, this application is using my tenant as a way to configure data. So again, what's a tenant? Well, a tenant is, a container of data, right? We're using my data right now, okay? If we wanted to use Morgan's token, we could configure the application to use Morgan's token. But, Morgan's token doesn't exist, and my token does. So I have hooked up my token to this application. So now that now that we've done that, and again, like I'll show you in code where that's configured, but assume for now that all of this is under my token, my data, right? So under my token, there is currently 24 tokens in existence that have been minted. Now, it also is the case that all 24 of those tokens were minted to me, because I have a balance of 24, right? So it just makes sense that all the tokens that have been minted so far have been minted to me, and that's just because I kept minting to myself. So what we can do is we can run some fun little things here. So in order to get my account, let me just log back in so I can copy my account address. So boom, and confirm. And this is all on testnet, by the way. So if I type in get the account balance of this account, it shows 24, right? So you can even search for specific accounts to see what kind of balance they have. Now, let's also, because this is my tenant, right? Because I own this tenant, I can mint some tokens. So let's go ahead and copy in my address here in the receiver, and let's mint, like, I don't know, 15 or what is it? I have 24 right now, so let's mint 16 to make it an even 30, right? Or even 40. Math, woohoo. So yeah, and now keep in mind that no one else could use this mint token piece. Only I can use it because I'm the owner of this token, this data, right? So let's go ahead and mint. And if I click on mint, then it should open up a nice little prompt here. We can even see the transaction code, right? And if I click approve, it's going to go through. Nothing's happening right now, but if this goes through, then we should see a little done with an exclamation mark down here, a really amazing done thing that will tell us it's completed. Boom. So it says it's done, right? There's the done. So if we refresh this page, now I have 40 tokens. Yes, it worked. The demo gods are with me today, in all their glory. So boom, and also the total supply went up, right? Because yeah. So there we go. Now I can also transfer tokens if I want to, right? I could, paste in a different person and transfer some tokens if I want to. I'm not going to do that right now. So yeah, but the reason I'm not going to do that is because I want to show you, how to maybe configure your own token, stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead into this token thing. Let me X this out really quick. And so this is, again, just a Next.js app. So if I go into this pages, this little pages directory right here, and I click on underscore index.tsx, underscore app.tsx, sorry, and we scroll down a little bit, you can see that what we're doing is we're importing the token module from the Hyperverse, and we're also importing the Flow blockchain. Now, we also import stuff from the Hyperverse directly, like the initializer, the provider, the network, right? That's all fancy stuff. But for our purposes and for your understanding, just know that we're importing the Flow blockchain and we're importing the token module. So the reason that we do that is because down here, when we initialize the Hyperverse, right, we're pulling in this initialize function from the Hyperverse itself. But when we actually initialize the Hyperverse, we pass in the Flow blockchain because we're going to say, hey, we're on the Flow blockchain. The network is on testnet, right? The modules, right? So this is an array of modules that we pass in. Now, in this case, we're using the token module. That's what you put under bundle. And then the tenant ID. So this is where, this is like the crux of the application, right? The tenant ID. This is the tenant we're working with. So in this case, you can see up here that my account that I'm logged into right now is 0x6c0 blah blah blah, and this is 0x60c blah 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 blah, right? So we're currently using my token or my account's data in order to run this application, which is why, for the record, I was able to mint tokens, right? If we were using Morgan's token, for example, under right here, then I shouldn't be able to mint his token, right? That wouldn't make any sense. That would be a major security leak. Of course, you can make a module that does it if you want, but that's a whole separate story. So yeah, so that's why we're all under my state. Now, what we can try and do is let's try and connect with a different wallet here. So let's connect with, I don't know, like Jacob at decentology.com. This is just Blockdo, by the way. So I'll explain Blockdo for a bit. So what Blockdo is if you've been on Ethereum or you've been on EVM chains, you probably know MetaMask or stuff like this. And so with MetaMask, MetaMask is like a little Chrome extension you use. I hate it. I don't know. Like I'm really I get really pissy about it. Blockdo is the wallet that's mostly used for the Flow blockchain. So Blockdo is really great. And the way that you sign into Blockdo is you type in your email and then they send you a little code. So I have to wait for a little code to appear in order to log in. Now, because the email on my phone is really slow, I might have to just, but I don't want to show it on stream. Oh, here it is. Okay. So the code that they sent me is 272954. So I can log in with that code. And now here's my address, right? So boom, here is my address. Okay, cool. So you'll notice right now that if I refresh the page, because I'm here's a question from Morgan. If I were to copy this code, wouldn't I be able to mint your tokens using your tenant ID? So no, you wouldn't. And the reason for that is because when you log into this account, this account doesn't have the proper minter capabilities that it does in the other account. And those minter capabilities get set up when you actually create your own tenant or create your own instance. So no, you wouldn't be able to mint tokens. It's a great question though, Morgan. Amazing question. So you'll notice actually that because I'm logged into a different account now, the total supply is still 40, right? Because we're still using my token. My token has 40 tokens that were minted from it, but the balance is 0. I have no balance, right? I should probably put 0 here, but you get the point. There's no it doesn't show 40 anymore. It's 0. And the reason for that is because it's showing the balance of my account, right? My account doesn't have anything in it right now. That wouldn't make any sense. But if we actually go back and we take in this address, which was the account I was using before, you'll notice that account still has balance of 0, right? So if I or 40, so if I just logged into that account, there would be a balance here, but just to make that point, right? So cool. Now the question is, well, what if I want to make my own token, right? Well, that's what I'll show you right now. So if we go to this new instance and we click on create instance, I hope this works. To be honest, I am not 100% positive this will, but I think it should work. So if we click on approve here, this will go ahead and make our own instance. So what that'll do is that'll create our own data under this account. And that will give me the ability to create my own data. It'll give me the ability to mint my own tokens, all that cool stuff. So hopefully, actually, we can even check the console here, see if it went through. So it looks like, okay, no, so it looks like it failed. That's just fantastic. Actually, no, I think it went through. So maybe if we're lucky, I can refresh this page here and let me take my address and replace it in here. So if I replace it, what should happen, and I'm not 100% sure. Yeah. Oh my God, it worked. Yes. So what just happened is, look what happened. So I replaced, the tenant ID with my token now, right? Because, and for the record, this wouldn't work if you didn't create your own instance, your own tenant, right? Because I created my own tenant, I can replace the tenant ID with my ID now, with my address. I use, address and ID are interchangeable. It's just, the ID is your account address. But now look at the application state. It's different now, right? You can see the total supply is 0 because no tokens have been minted from this data or my tenant yet. But let's change that. So if I just want to mint tokens to myself, let's mint 10 tokens or something. Click on mint. And let's try it. So let's approve. And if I approve it, then hopefully it should say done, and we should see the total supply go up to 10, which would be amazing if we saw that. So let's try it. Done. So if we refresh the page, then the total supply is now 10. Booyah, it worked. God, I love the Hyperverse so much. And there we go. And you can see my balance is also 10 now. So super cool. And again, that's because the data is, separate. But, if we wanted to go back, let's go back for a second. Let's change the data back. You'll see that nothing has changed on this tenant's data. It's still 40, 40, right? So, this is 0 because I'm logged into this account. So all is good. Now, one thing I want to show you just to prove the answer that I gave to Morgan. Morgan said, well, if I copy this code, can I just mint your tokens? And the answer is no, because right now I'm logged into, this person's tenant, but I'm on this account, right? So that's a different account. So if I try to mint some tokens to myself, let's see what happens. Let's try mint. Let's click on approve. And you'll notice that if I inspect here, the console's going to give me an error. I probably should make that more responsive on the UI, which I will. But, if we look at the console here, it's going to fail, or at least it should. Okay, well, it says it's done, but it's not actually done. I'm almost positive. Okay, right? Yeah, so you'll see that it didn't give an error here. I don't know why I did that, but you'll see the total supply didn't go up because you can't mint that on behalf of the on a separate account. Now, the goal here is to allow is to make a new module where the admin or the tenant owner can specify other admins or other moderators to mint tokens for them, which is oftentimes really helpful, right, to allow that to happen. And similarly, in our other module like non-fungible token, we want to allow open minting, right? Like a module that allows anyone just to mint an NFT if they want, whether it's, for whatever reasons, right? So that is also in the works. So we're about 30 minutes in here. I'm going to pause for a few minutes, allow for some questions. And if not, then, we can just have some fun, explore some other modules in the meantime. But what I really wanted to get out of the way in this workshop, or what I really wanted to show you, I just showed you, which is, how we're hooking up the application. Oh, and of course, I'm going to show you, how we actually call these functions in the code. But I'm going to wait for a few minutes to see if anyone has any questions. And I will check my messages while that happens, just to make sure that I'm not getting messages elsewhere. All right, so Morgan says, how do I get some of your tokens to my address? So if I'm understanding the question correctly, I think you're saying, how do I transfer? So that transfer, so I don't know. I'm actually not sure. Let me try something. I'm honestly not sure. Wait, let me log into my other account. Because it'll be easier this way. So let me just go back in. Quickly. Let me. Oh god, it's got to pop up on me. Hold on. Let me drag this to my other screen. Get my email quickly. Copy this. Okay. Let's paste it in. Boom. We're back in action. So now that we're back on this account, I think you're saying, how do you transfer tokens? So let's try that. Is there an easy way with the Hyperverse to provision random accounts with your token? Oh, that's good. That's a good point. Oh, so you're saying like, oh, you're talking about like in the flow sense, right? Because you have to like set up a user account before you can actually deposit tokens. So no, there isn't right now, but that would just be a matter. I think that would just be a matter of like making a little button right here that just says like set up your account. And the reason that Morgan's saying that for all you non-flow devs is because, at least I think why, is because on Flow you have to set up your account to receive certain tokens before you can actually get sent them. And so that needs to be set up prior. But yeah. But yeah, so in terms of transferring, so you can just transfer tokens. So if I type in, let's type in the other ad. Wait, let's see what happens. So if I type in, what is it? Go back. Okay, yeah, so if I type in this, let me copy this. Okay. So let's copy in this address here. And then let's type in like 10. So let's see if it does it. I don't know if this will work, but let's try it. So let's transfer. Okay, approve. And let's go. So hopefully this will transfer. I don't know if it will, but if this works, then ours balance should go down to 30, and the other one's balance should go up to 10. So let's try it. So done. It says done. Let's see if it actually is done, or if it's a liar. Oh my god! Wow, it worked. So it went down to 30, right? And so now if we get the balance of the other account, so let's try and get the other account really quick. Let's try and boom. It's 10, right? So boom, works. So that's awesome. That's really great. So we just transferred 10 of our tokens to this account, and now their balance is 10. So boom, that's transferring. Yay! I also need to update this placeholder. It says the token ID to transfer. That's from non-fungible token. This should be amount of tokens to transfer, but you sort of get the point. All right. So that is the token module. Yay! Hook up to our example app. Okay. So yeah, so let's actually dive into how this is hooked up in code to prove there's no blockchain code whatsoever, right? So we're in our app now. We've been playing a lot with this, but let's actually go into the actual app and look at where we're calling these functions, right? So here's one, balance of. So this is the component that's rendered right here, this balance of one, this thing right here, right? So if we go here, let's look at how we're doing that. Well, let's do it. So right now we import, and on Flow it's super easy. So we import the use Flow from the Flow module or Flow package. Now in all these packages, when you actually go to use them in your app, you always use like this use like Flow syntax or like use blank. So to import the Flow blockchain, we say use Flow, and to import the Flow token, we say use token. So we always use that like React hook sort of what's that called, like pattern or whatever it is, standard. So then we actually have we have a balance of component. We say const flow equals use flow, so we get the flow variable, we get the token variable, and now the amazing thing is that it's actually so easy for us to call these blockchain functions without having to go through any code or any annoyance whatsoever. You'll see that down here. Where is it? So when you click this, so this button right here, this get balance of, that's this right here, that's this button. You'll notice that when we click it, it calls the get balance from module function, which is right here. And this get balance from module function says, let the balance of the user equals await token, which is the token module, dot get balance. So this is really helpful because when you token out get balance, there's again no blockchain code. You're literally just calling a JavaScript function, and you pass in an account. So the account by default is this account, but you can pass this. It's obviously coming from this input field, right? This gets changed based on what's in this input field, and so you call token at get balance, and then we just console.log it for some reason, and then set the balance, and then when we set the balance, that balance is then displayed right here, right? So super easy to call blockchain functions in your Hyperverse code, in your Dapps code. It's all coming from the Hyperverse. You don't have to worry about blockchain stuff at all. So really great. And very similar for other stuff too. So let's go to like the mint token component. Same thing. We import use flow. We import use token. Here's mint NFT. And we say const flow equals use flow. Const token equals use token. The exact same thing. And this is this component right here, the mint token. So you can see we take in a receiver and an amount, which is right here. We take in a receiver and an amount. And then we have a button. And this button, which is clicked right here, when you click this allows you to mint, right? So when I click that mint button, it pops up with this little transaction here. So if we go back, what is that doing? Well, when we click the button, it's calling the mint and NFT function. Mint and NFT is doing very few things. It's just setting this done variable so we know whether or not to put done here. But mainly, it's just doing const transaction equals await token.mint token. So tokens coming from use token up here. Then we just say token.mint the token. We pass in the receiver. We pass in the amount. And boom, that's it. So once we do that, it'll mint the tokens. It'll do everything you want, and you have to write no blockchain code at all. So who likes the Hyperverse? I like the Hyperverse. And I'm going to pause there and just take some questions. But that's all I really wanted to show you today. Actually, one last thing I'll show you is like the different modules you can use. But yeah, I'll pause there for now. So while I wait for questions, let me load up the other application, the tribes one, and we can look at this one too. The tribes is totally different also. I like it. Seems very intuitive. Thanks, Morgan, for the support. Love it. Love it. All right, so that was the token module, or that was an example of how to use the token module in your Dapp. But let's go over how to use the tribes module in your Dapp. So this is the example tribes application that we have for you. And the cool thing about this tribes module, by the way, is that it supports .find. Is there a page with all the available functions for token module? Amazing question. I don't think so. But that is a great point, Morgan. We definitely need that. Yes. So the goal is that, so right now this isn't available, but at hyperverse.dev, which isn't currently a thing right now, but at hyperverse.dev, there will be a list of every blockchain. So like Ethereum, Flow, Algorand, all that kind of stuff. And then under each blockchain, there'll be a list of all modules. And then under the list of every module, there will be a list of functions you can call with the test suite and all that kind of stuff. So that's currently coming out, but not available just yet. So yeah. So BZ says, if you add this on the end of the YouTube, you will see something amazing. Add what? Add what? I'm not sure. Okay. So awesome. So with that being said, let's look at the tribes module. The cool thing about tribes is that it actually uses .find. So .find is a naming service on Flow, just like .eth on Ethereum. On Flow, there's two naming services, .find and .fn, which is Floans. And this one supports .find. So if we actually log out here, oh, we can't send a link. Oh, that stinks. Oh, that's BZ. DM it to me on Discord, and I'll open it. But yeah, so Jacob. So you'll see that when I log in here, and I actually own Jacob.find on my testnet account. So it works and says Jacob.find. Boom. All right. So on this scam reported true, ban BZ. Some moderator ban him. Get him out of here. So on this tribe, so I'm currently in a tribe, so I can click on view your tribe, and it loads up this healer tribe, which is boom, love the healer tribe, right? So if we want to, I can leave this tribe. So let me leave the tribe. Approve. So I'm leaving my healer tribe, which is really sad because I was in it for a long time, and they're probably really confused why I'm leaving. Oh, perfect, BZ. Great link. Morgan's gonna love this one. Okay, great. So I just left my tribe, and because I left my tribe, now I can select some tribes. So let's go back to the homepage to see what you would see. You can join a tribe. There's a bunch of tribes here for you to join. Let me join the dragon one. Wow, that looks really cool. So it says joining a tribe. I can click approve. It's loading. Going through. Super cool. Boom. And now I'm in dragons. So it looks like in the midst of all my boredom, I don't know why the image isn't loading, but in the midst of all my boredom, it seems like I named the thing GG and I wrote Dragon's Roar. So I made this when I probably like at 4 a.m. So you can't blame me there. But what a fantastic description by me. And now I'm in the Dragon's tribe. So let's actually see how this is working in code. So let's go back and look at this in code. Let me open up a new thing here. See. Oh God. Love Windows. Windows is the worst. Wow, love Windows. Okay, so then let's open this up. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. That's my fault, not Windows. Apps, CD, Flow, and Tribes. Okay, so let's go in here. Let's go to the Tribes app. So now that we're in the Tribes app, let's see how this is working. Well, inside of our _app.tsx, you can see that we are hooking up the, the Tribes blockchain. Or Tribes module. So we have the Flow blockchain. It's on testnet. The tenant ID is the tenant address. Now it looks like in this one I got a bit fancy and I put tenant address in this other file right here. But this is the tenant address. Booyah. So all cool. And then under components, let's look at how we're using these functions. Or actually, it should be under pages. So we have let's see, all tribes. So this is where you can join a tribe, right? So if we go back. Actually no, because right now we're on the leave tribe page, so let's actually go to that one. So on here you can see that down at the bottom it says, we can leave. This is where we're at, the leave tribe, right? That's this button right here. And if I click this button, it will say on click. This is if we click it, it'll leave my tribe. So where is that being called? That's being called right here. So what that does is it sets some loading thing to true, sets some message, right? And then it says await tribes.leave the tribe, right? So it'll just call tribes, which is we're importing from use tribes, right? Just like we imported from use token, we're importing from use tribes, right? Right here, boom. So we say tribes, and then we say tribes.leave the tribe. Then we can set the loading, push to another page, all that cool stuff. But again, the point is that, there's no blockchain code here. It's just JavaScript code. So yeah, that's that. Yeah, all cool. So now that I showed you those two modules, that's most of what I wanted to show you. And to sort of leave you on this sort of ending note, for this bootcamp, one of the first things we'd like you to do is to go to this Flow FastCamp GitHub repo. And if you go here, what you should do is submit some pull requests to this repo with Dapps ideas. So think about some of the applications you can make with some modules. For example, we actually give you a list of example ideas, right? GameFi, DAO, developing NFTs. We give you some list of examples. But what we'd love you to do is to go to this pull requests tab here and submit some pull requests with ideas for, Dapps ideas. That would be amazing. And that's your first step of completing this, FastCamp. So we love that. And also, if you want some ideas, you can look at the previous ones we did. For example, in the Ethereum FastCamp, there were some pull requests here. They're all closed now. But, there's a list of ideas that people had sent. Let's look at this one, for example. Boom. So let's see what they, so boom, they added some examples right here. So great. That's awesome, right? So you can go ahead and if you'd like to, get your first step in completing this bootcamp, add some pull requests with Dapps ideas. Or if you want to, some module ideas, right? So not only Dapps ideas, but also think about, some of the, think about some of the, ways that, we could make modules or some modules that would be helpful to use in Dapps, right? Like maybe a marketplace or maybe an NFT module where everyone can mint, or maybe a fungible token module where, multiple people can mint if you give them rights, stuff like that. So definitely submit some requests to this, and you'll be well on your way. So I'm going to wait for some questions here. If there are no questions, then we can wrap things up a little bit early here. I think today was largely a success. Checking for messages. No messages yet. All right. So last thing, of course. Oh yeah. Morgan on the scooter.
Hello there. My name is Morgan.
I had to show that. Wait, can we get a rewatch of that? Quick rewatch. Happiness levels immediately increase when you watch Morgan on the scooter. Look at that smile.
Hello
Look
there.
at that. Look. Look. Look at that smirk. Morgan, I love it. Morgan's the best. We love Morgan so much. Look at that smirk. What are those memes where it's like, wait, can we get like a quick... This is better than the Marvel intro. I totally agree. Boom. There's the legend in all his shining glory. There he is. The legend Morgan. So, love that so much. If you ever need a happiness boost, just go to Morgan on a scooter. Love it. So thanks everyone for tuning in. Hope that was helpful. Hope that was insightful. And good luck this week. And we'll be talking again. So love it. And that's all I have. So thanks everybody. See you in the next one. And have a great week. Make a float event. I will make a float event with Morgan's face on it. I'm gonna call it Morgan Wild and spam people to claim it. Using Morgan's smirk. I'm gonna do that. I love it. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Peace out. See you in the next one. Good luck with Flow.